Did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night? Take little shots. He was taking shots at your president. And so was Michelle. You know, they always say, sure, please stick to policy. Don't get personal. And yet they're getting personal all night long, these people. Do I still have to stick to policy? No, he was very nasty last night. I try and be nice to people, you know, but it's a little tough when they get personal. Please, again, remember, please, sir, don't get personal. Talk about policy. Let me ask you about that. We're going to do a free poll. Here are the two questions. Should I get personal? Should I not get personal? Ready? Should I get personal? Should I not get personal? I don't know. My advisors are fired.
That was Donald Trump reacting to the humiliation he suffered at the hands of both Barack and Michelle Obama at last night's Democratic National Convention. And if you want to see what it was that set Trump off, here you go.
The people who will decide this election are asking a very simple question. Who will fight for me? Who's thinking about my future, about my children's future, about our future together? One thing is for certain, Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question. Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes.
When you've got Barack Obama mocking the accordion hands, not a great moment for Donald Trump. It also didn't help that Michelle Obama dressed him down in an arena of over 20,000 people with perhaps the takedown of the entire convention.
She understands that most of us will never be afforded the grace of failing forward. We will never benefit from the affirmative action of generational wealth. If we bankrupt a business or choke in a crisis, we don't get a second, third, or fourth chance. If things don't go our way, we don't have the luxury of whining or cheating others to get further ahead. No. We don't get to change the rules so we always win. If we see a mountain in front of us, we don't expect there to be an escalator waiting to take us to the top. No. We put our heads down. We get to work. In America, we do something.
So while we can always expect Donald Trump to lash out whenever he's provoked, frankly, dude is outmatched. Donald Trump attempting to counterpunch the Obamas is like me doing that with Mike Tyson, which is to say, maybe just save yourself the embarrassment. Now, you'll notice that with Trump's little complaints, he presents himself as the victim, that he can't even stick to policy because the evil Democrats won't allow him to do policy. First of all, Donald Trump does not want to stick to policy. Donald Trump doesn't care about policy. Donald Trump doesn't know any policy. The notion that Trump desperately wants to discuss the issues but for the evil Democrats is a wholesale denial of reality. Second of all, and more obviously, imagine thinking that the victim here, as far as personal attacks are concerned, is Donald Trump, who quite literally launched the birther movement against Barack Obama. Trump quite literally denied Barack Obama's nationality because he's black, and yet this guy has the audacity to claim that he's the victim of personal attacks. What's next? The KKK whining that black people are being mean to them? In this very clip, Trump twice calls Obama Barack Hussein Obama, the point of which is obvious. He is a racist, and he's trying to drive a wedge between his overwhelmingly white base and Barack Obama because of his spooky name. He's literally whining about being attacked while attacking. Donald Trump is so deluded that he doesn't even realize how guilty he is of the exact thing he whines about having done to him. And yet, this is indicative of a broader phenomenon with Trump. He has to be the victim. That's what his campaign is centered on. He has to be able to walk around and claim that the whole world is out to get him, and his religion, and his race, and his gender, and his class, and his family. I mean, honestly, for a guy who needs to be viewed as a strongman, I wonder if he ever gets tired of bitching all the time. For someone so desperate to look strong, I have quite literally never seen someone present themselves as weaker. And that's a point that even Trump can't walk away from here. Since Kamala Harris entered the race, Trump's entire strongman persona has been thoroughly discredited. For example, he initially refused to abide by the debate schedule, spending days publicly running away from her. He tried to deny her race, only further distancing himself from those very minority voters whose support he ostensibly needs to win in November. Then he began this whole campaign where he fantasizes about Joe Biden returning to the race.
You know, what they did is a terrible thing, actually. They forced him out. It was a coup. We had a coup. That was the first coup in the history of our country. And it was very successful. He said, okay, I'll leave. If that's what you want, I'll leave. And now he's seeing what the competition is. I hear he's going to make a comeback at the Democrat convention. He's going to walk into the room and he's going to say, I want my presidency back. I want another chance to debate Trump. I want another chance.
Does that seem like someone who's strong, someone who's tough, someone who is capable of standing up to the world's autocrats and dictators? Because he doesn't even seem capable of standing up to his own opponent. Donald Trump is a weak man's idea of what a strong man is, and while that might have worked with the other hangers-on who make up his orbit, the rest of us can clearly see how diminished, how deflated, and how weak the guy actually is. But let's zoom out for a bit here, because the fact is that while the swipe at Donald Trump was just a tiny part of Obama's speech that overwhelmingly focused on unity, on putting our differences aside, on the future, for Trump, the personal attacks are the whole thing, the whole ballgame. That is all he has. He doesn't do policy, he doesn't do compromise, he doesn't do hope or optimism or a vision for the future. With Donald Trump, you get one theme: anger, fear, vengeance. So at this point, the American people have a clear choice. You can have 4 more years of chaos and division, or you can put the foolishness and the nicknames and the insults and attacks and narcissism aside and elect someone focused on helping you, on lowering your healthcare costs, on helping your climate, on protecting your reproductive rights, on bolstering your unions, on lowering your costs, supporting your global alliances. Donald Trump is in this for Donald Trump. Kamala Harris is in it for you. Take all the time you need with that one. I've got a really exciting announcement. I've written a book. It's called Shameless. This book explores how Republicans have exploited their historical branding while attacking our democracy, how the media has proven itself a willful participant, and how Democrats can learn from this to rebalance the political scales and save our democracy. It has been a lifelong dream of mine to write my own book, and so I'd like to ask you to pre-order it by clicking the link right here on the screen. And if you buy within this pre-order period, your book is going to come with a signed nameplate. As you know, I've never had a single sponsor on my channel. I don't ask for money or anything like that, but if you're looking for a way to support me, this is hands down the best way to do it. So again, follow the link right here on the screen, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for pre-ordering Shameless. And as always, make sure to subscribe to see more of my content.